I'm Kerry Shale.
And I'm Daniel Crespin.
And this is Bob Dylan.
Approximately.
I've got to talk to someone quick. But the Greek said, "Go away," and he kicked the chair to the floor. He hung there from the chandelier. She cried, "Help, there's danger near. Please open up the door." Then the volcano erupted, and the lava flowed down from the mountain high above. The soldier and the tiny man were crouched in the corner, thinking of forbidden love. But the desk clerk said, "It happens every day." As the as the stars fell down and the fields burned away on Black Diamond Bay. That's really difficult to the rhythm. We were talking about polyrhythms.
Yeah.
This is a bitch of a song.
Rhythmically, how he writes it, yeah. Yeah.
It's and he does verse after verse after verse with this weird thing. Pitchfork magazine music website called the track remarkably tuneful, ruefully ominous, and utterly batshit.
Yes.
Which I thought was
yes, I read that too.
pretty
Utterly
good.
batshit.
It's utterly, totally batshit.
Yeah.
And I must say, I know it's a I think it's an unappreciated song on Desire. I think it's the last good song on Desire because it's the one right before Sarah.
Yes, God, what an awful piece of shit that song is.
Yes, but I think this. But people never talk about Black Diamond Bay, and I think it's really interesting. It doesn't say that much except for the final verse, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
But as a story, it's a great batshit
It's
story.
a great
It's a Louis Buñuel film.
Yeah, it's another great story song from Bob, and I have to say I'd never really thought about it. All I remember when you said, "Oh, we're going to do Black Diamond Bay," I just thought, "On Black Diamond Bay." That's all I remember from it, really. And it has been nice listening to it more, and I like the fact it sort of starts on this beautiful duet between Scarlett Rivera and Bob on harmonica. That's a lovely thing to have those two instruments harmonizing together is lovely. And then it goes into this utterly chaotic world. We're thrown right into it.
Yeah.
With a Greek who's suicidal and a clerk.
Well, the Greek is trying to commit and does indeed seemingly commit suicide. I mean, it's full of death and destruction.
Everyone dies. Everyone in it dies except the narrator at the end, who wasn't even there. We find out.
Exactly. It's musically. I think like you're the music man in the relationship, but. I find it really a great tune, and particularly that chorus and dum dum dum, dum dum dum. I find it amazing that he was able to put lyrics to that music.
Oh, it shows. Yeah, it's no mean feat. It shows how powerful he is as a lyricist to be able to make it not sound stilted and not sound.
Or Jacques Levy, we have to say.
And Jacques Levy, yes, we must, and I will talk about him later. But.
Yeah, there's certain. These are my. I've made a list of four of my favorite rhymes, which just make me laugh. It makes me smile. This song, it really does. Despite the fact that it's a Dylan song full of the usual death and destruction, rhyming second floor. With Soviet ambassador. Rhyming second floor with Soviet ambassador.
Well, I love the fact that he's added a character of the Soviet ambassador to rhyme with floor, but he's like you could have. There's so many simpler ways to rhyme something with floor. He's gone. It's been a Soviet ambassador.
Yeah, what rhymes with floor?
Floor.
Like door, pour, gore, for.
Yeah, I've already mentioned door. I'm gonna go Soviet ambassador.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Thank you, Bob. Or Jacques Levy.
Yeah,
or
Jacques.
Levy.
I think that was probably a Bob moment.
Then there's the desk clerk says is rhymed with removes his fez.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. And it does remind me a bit of talking of fezzes and stuff. Like it's kind of there's something Casablanca-y about this song to me. I love that film. I've always loved that film since I was a kid.
Oh, me too.
But this troupe of chaotic characters from seemingly all around the world at this Black Diamond Bay, and it's just
Jacques Levy was interviewed about this, and the one thing that I can remember from the interview was him saying the manager of the hotel would have been played by Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah.
So it clearly is That's from Jacques Levy's mouth. So it is. I see it only in black and white. I see this entire song in black and white, even though he mentions lava and all sorts.
I'm glad that's not just me, because I kind of was hesitant to bring it up. I think because what, Casablanca? I don't know why that film is in my head.
Absolutely, because it's a bunch of people with mysterious lives in this bar, which is the hotel has a bar. What goes on in the rooms, and what goes on in Casablanca, it's secrets and impending doom and dinner jackets and fezzes.
Exactly. Yeah.
So here's another one. See if you can remember what this rhymes with. The cranes fly away.
Oh, I don't know. You'll have to tell me.
You would never guess. Attendez-vous, s'il vous plaît.
There's a couple of French rhymes.
What rhymes with the cranes fly away?
I didn't write it down, but apparently that's not even correct French.
Yes, apparently you wouldn't say attendez-vous, s'il vous plaît.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just thought that was great. And then the final one, the boiler in the basement blue. My darling, je vous aime beaucoup. And also, these are the only songs I think he's written with French in the actual song.
I know. Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Is there any others that you can think of? I can't think of any others. There might be.
Listeners, we don't talk to our listeners now.
No.
Listeners, get in touch.
Get in touch.
Any other Bob Dylan French phrases that you'd like to share with us?
Instagram us. I do respond.
And actually, we don't talk to our listeners. I'm going to stop the whole thing dead here. I want
guys.
I want to hear from them.
Yeah,
I do. How would
we
they
appreciate you.
How would they get in touch?
You can contact us on Instagram, or you can contact us at bobdylanapproximately@gmail.com. Or you can become a Patreon member for just £5 a month, less than a pint.
Less than a pint. Less than a dessert at a decent restaurant.
You can,
can they get in touch through evil Spotify? I don't know.
No, they can't. They can leave sort of comments on the things. But I would say Instagram's a good one. You can DM me and I'll probably respond.
But if people don't like, I only got onto Instagram because we started this podcast.
Yeah.
So certain people might not like the social media world.
I mean, email or the Patreon's the best one because you can contact us directly through the message thing on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving.
Thanks, guys.
And that was impromptu.
Yeah.
But I've always meant to sort of.
Yeah, it's true. We don't say hey enough.
No, because we love the Blind Boy podcast.
Yeah.
And which you turned me on to, and it's become totally part of my life. I don't know how I lived without it. I listen to it almost every day.
Yeah.
And he's very clever about contact, but he's just. I take a free plug to. He doesn't need the plug. But,
fantastic.
Fantastic. Yeah. We're going to see him later in 2026. Looking forward to the
Do you like theatre, do you?
Yeah.
Do you want some theatre? The best adverts of any podcast.
Oh, no, he's brilliant. So I read, going back to the song, on the Untold Dylan website, which I often contact because they're very good with theories. Some of the theories are very good theories, and some of the theories are batshit theories. This one,
but this is a batshit song, so
it's true. But this song, I said that it was about, or this theory said it was about Vietnam.
Yeah,
I couldn't even finish that particular theory. I think a lot of the time, I think they just were trying to write mostly a funny song, and then Dylan, I'll bet, put the twist on it.
Yeah,
the sting. Are we ready to go to the sting yet?
Well, I think I just wanted to mention that I think this song, in many ways, because it's a perfectly good song. It's a perfectly good song, and it's very clever in certain ways. But it says something about how I feel about Desire as an album in general. Like I listened to the Rolling Thunder review, the first part of that, and the electricity and the energy of these new songs being played live was incredible. Yeah. And then by the time they recorded it, it just feels sanitized and sort of, I don't know, pulled back somehow. And they just feel totally like you think of songs like Isis. When he's singing that live, he looks possessed by something. Yeah. And it's exciting. And then I still love Isis, but on the record, it just kind of it doesn't quite translate.
It's not as
to the recordings.
Not as
and I feel the way about this. I think he only played it once.
He played it once. Yeah. I can't even imagine because presumably it was before teleprompters. He had to remember all the words.
Yeah, exactly.
And not just the words, but those rhythms. I mean, I was trying to it's really hard to. I'm just going to read some. Just listen to without imposing my own rhythm on it. A soldier sits beneath the fan, doing business with a tiny man who sells him a ring. Lightning strikes, the lights blow out, the desk clerk wakes and begins to shout, "Can you see anything?"
Yeah.
Then the Greek appears on the second floor in his bare feet with a rope around his neck, while a loser in the gambling room lights up a candle, says, "Open up another deck." But the dealer says, "Attendez-vous, s'il vous plaît," as the rain beats down and the cranes fly away from Black Diamond Bay. That's hard shit, man.
Yeah.
No wonder you only sang it once.
I'm wondering if, like, I'm not very good with time signatures and figuring them out, but I'd love to. I should have looked up what the time. It might be one of those things like Leonard Bernstein liked to do this a lot. So, for instance, America. I like to be in America. He adds another 2 beats, so it's not really in a strict time signature. And it might be that because you do that at the end of each thing.
Yeah.
It's almost like
The Soviet ambassador. I don't even know how. It's difficult. The Soviet ambassador.
Yeah.
Who writes? I think he was playing. I mean, Desire. I love Desire. I'm not going to compare it to anything. The live versions. It's one of the reasons it was his best. I believe it was his best-selling album up till that time, right? Because it was very accessible for a Bob Dylan thing with weird batshit lyrics. There's something kind of comforting about it, even though, as Emmylou Harris said, she was going nuts because she'd never heard the songs before and she was told to harmonize.
And she's brilliant.
She's
on this
brilliant.
album.
How brilliant is she?
She's fantastic, and on this song as well. I think she really does add something to this album.
Yeah.
I have to say, like, songs like Hurricane, even my friends who don't like Bob Dylan, they love Hurricane.
Yeah.
I think it's as an album, it's probably more melodic than a lot of Dylan albums.
It is.
So people like it.
Yeah.
You think, I mean, I love One More Cup of Coffee, Valley Below as a song. And that's it's got choruses and it's got this, and Bob doesn't always do that.
Michael Gray said about, I just wrote this down because I thought it was a great quote. He said about Desire, "Never before had Dylan so utterly made his word content the servant of his music. The precise, almost mathematical interlocking of the two is primarily what concerns him." I thought that was a really, and the music interlocks in this song with the lyrics.
It does.
So although it seems like it's about the lyrics, I'd say it's equally about the music in this.
There's one bit of the music that really annoys me in this song, and they've got those like handbell things, and it's going and it really annoys me, just going straight in with like just emphasizing these beats that are already emphasized with 2 little shitty handbells. It really annoys me. Ding, 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 ding. Shut up.
You're easily annoyed, Dan.
I'm very easily annoyed by things. Yeah.
Now, where do you stand on Joseph Conrad, viz. This song? Did you in your research, did that come up?
I didn't go into it enough.
I went down there.
Okay.
I went down there big time. So first of all, there's a picture of Joseph Conrad on the back of the album.
I did not.
So look it up anywhere. I don't have on the back of the CD. There's a picture of Bob. A lot of bad. It's a very ugly sort of collage, and in the middle of it is Joseph Conrad. Well, Joseph Conrad, so that's not just a hint, that's a statement.
Yeah.
So Joseph Conrad wrote a novel, Victory, An Island Tale, in 1915. The island contains a derelict coal port called Black Diamond Bay. So coal was known as the Black Diamond. And Conrad's imaginary island in this novel is full of desperate souls, gambling, sex, and suicide. And so there you go. There we go. It's not just like, do you think there was a Joseph Conrad connection? There was. Desperation, death, sex, and terrible destruction is what happens in the song. So it's kind of an homage to Joseph Conrad.
And I do always wonder with this album as a whole, how does Bob write alongside other people? That must be an interesting one.
Well, they went off for what it was, a week to some place in Long Island or someplace, and just came up with all these lyrics.
But he's such a funny.
How do you write with Bob
funny
Dylan? How do you even
dude.
hang out with Bob Dylan?
I know. You think of it, okay, we're going to start at 10 o'clock and we'll go till 5. I don't think that's going to happen. So he'll just wander off randomly.
No, I can only imagine that they smoked a lot of dope and,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they've ever, but they did talk about, writing together, and he didn't write the music, Jacques Levy. So.
No. He's a fascinating figure, Levy. I didn't know much about him until I knew bits about him. I knew he was a theatre director, but I didn't know. So do you mind if I...
Yeah, go.
So Levy was born in New York City in 1935, and he had a PhD in psychology from Michigan State University and was certified by the Menninger Institute for Psychoanalysis. So he was a psychoanalyst initially.
Yeah.
And after returning to New York, he practiced as a clinical psychologist while pursuing his vocation in the city's experimental theatre scene. So you're a psychoanalyst with a PhD. He goes, I kind of like to be a theatre, and not just a theatre director, but really experimental theatre. And he ended up, succeeding in that massively. He directed Sam Shepard's play The Red Cross, and the following year, in 1969, he directed the successful review "Oh Calcutta," which is the main one that he's famous for.
Well, that's kind of quite commercial as opposed to.
Yeah.
I imagine I don't know that. I assume it was an early Sam Shepard, and his stuff was very. Patti Smith was in one of his plays.
Yeah,
right?
it's all
very
kind of off-Broadway
crazy,
stuff.
Not just off, but what off-Broadway used to be, which was because it's now very commercial off-Broadway.
Yeah.
But back then, it was just like a room in a derelict building or something, and
a theatre in a basement down the stairs.
Yes, exactly. But "Oh Calcutta," what a weird. And talk about sex as we did in the previous episode. It's just about sex.
Yeah, I just find that fascinating, and I really respect him for it. He was a doctor with a great education and probably a great living, who goes, well, this is my passion, I'm going to pursue it. And he didn't need to do that. I really kind of respect that of people.
And I think he's been somewhat written out of the Dylan legend. I mean, his name's still on the songs, but I mean, there's like a 1 second cut of him on the Rolling Thunder Martin Scorsese Netflix thing. And, he's just 1 second, where apparently he was. I think I read that he was actually in charge of directing the show.
Yeah, I've written that down. I didn't know that. Yeah, he was the director
so he's been kind of pretty much written out of that.
And actually, it's interesting. So his estate, so he died in 2004, so it's not him, but the estate of Jack Levy filed a lawsuit against Universal and Bob Dylan, claiming they are entitled to compensation from the 2020 sale of Dylan's song catalogue. So do you remember during COVID, Dylan sold his publishing rights to everything and made nearly $500 million or whatever he made. So that was filed in 2021. And so they said Levy co-wrote 7 of the 9 songs on Desire and had a 1975 contract guaranteeing him 35% of the earnings from these works. The lawsuit alleged that these rights were not considered in the $300 million catalogue sale, demanding $1.75 million plus $2 million in damages. It was dismissed. They then counter-sued. It's gone very back and forth. And
is it still going?
It's still going. So on on January the 5th, 2022, Dylan's lawyers filed a countersuit against Levy's estate. Dylan's lawyers contend that there is no basis for overturning the judge's ruling, as the contract between Levy and Dylan was clear and undeniable in specifying that Levy was entitled only to royalty payments. And that's been upheld by the sounds of it. So whether there'll be another suit. But it's gone on for a few years.
Sad.
It is sad because it's not Levy doing it. Whether he would have done it if he was still alive, I don't know. But I always find estates a funny thing. It's like, why should, if my dad writes a classic novel suddenly, why am I entitled to any royalties of it? It's bullshit anyway.
Yes, I agree. I didn't say anything because I totally agree. Should we cut to the final thing?
Yes.
I think I'm gonna read it just because a lot of people, even though it's such a famous album, I'll bet you a lot of people don't know this song very well.
Yeah, I didn't know the song that well.
Yeah,
no, I just knew the tune.
Exactly.
In my head.
So here's the twist. So the fire burns on and the smoke drifts away from Black Diamond Bay. Everybody dies. and then cut to a completely different perspective. I was sitting, and I'll try to do this in the Dylan using that rhythm, see if I can do it. I was sitting home alone one night in L.A. watching old Cronkite on the 7 o'clock news. It seems there was an earthquake that left nothing but a Panama hat and a pair of old Greek shoes. I love that. 7 o'clock news, old Greek shoes. Come on.
Yeah.
Didn't seem like much was happening, so I turned it off and went to grab another beer. Seems like every time you turn around, there's another hard luck story that you're going to hear, and there's really nothing anyone can say. And I never did plan to go anyway to Black Diamond Bay. I think I love the viciousness of that last line.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't going to go there. That's, I think, sometimes what people think. Terrible tragedy and destruction in this, African or, Asian town.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's absolutely got nothing. What, you know what? I'm a bit thirsty.
If it's not to do, and America is specifically to blame is specifically guilty of this, but so is the UK and a lot of Western Europe. If it's not happening in America, it doesn't really matter, especially if it's happening to non-white people around the world. Let's face it. There's a lot of there's another flood in Bangladesh, who gives a fuck? And I think, but Americans are specifically guilty of it. I think that's one of the things that aggravates non-Americans is the kind of insular nature of America when it comes to not knowing or giving a fuck about the rest of the world. It's like, if it's not American, it's surely not worth anything. Like, I remember talking to my American friend Colson when I lived with him, and he was speaking to a guy before he went to Lambda and was just, I'm going to study in London. And the guy was literally perplexed. Why would you go? And he couldn't believe that anyone that there's any worth outside the US of studying somewhere.
No, and now there's all this shit coming from the various right-wing websites saying that London is
Londonistan.
Londonistan.
It's ridiculous. You hear Tucker Carlson talk about London, it's as if it's ridiculous. And Joe Rogan spouts the same shit. It's like, you really are. The journalistic standards have just gone.
They've gone, and people are brainwashed by it.
Yeah.
And speaking as a Canadian, not an American, because it's funny, when at the local fishmongers on Essex Road, I used to go in there and I tried to be charming. I realized there was a game going on. Like, they would all flirt with Suzanne when she would go in there, but blokes are supposed to talk about football or whatever. And I couldn't quite get on their wavelength, but I tried. I really tried, and at one point, the guy said to me, he said, it's something about the States. And I said, oh, no, I'm Canadian.
Yeah.
His whole attitude changed.
Yeah.
And I kind of get it. I've got American friends, and I don't condemn all of America. But, over there now, it is, I'd like to have a beer and just forget about it, but you can't.
You can't. No, it's brilliant. I love the sort of the mention of Walter Cronkite, and just say he gives a kind of vague non-description of the event. There was an earthquake somewhere, and
they get it wrong.
Yeah.
They say there was an earthquake,
and it's a volcano.
But it's a volcano. Yeah. I love that. I love they get it wrong. But you know what? We know what Bob also deliberately gets wrong. This is a very deep dive because I checked this out. I thought there's something weird going on here. I was sitting home alone one night in L.A. watching old Cronkite on the 7 o'clock news, and I seem to remember when I lived in North America, it wasn't 7 o'clock. Now, wait a second. I looked it up. It was 6:30. It always went out at 6:30.
Okay.
It never went out at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
So that's just Bob. It's Bob fucking with you.
It's more syllables. 6:30 is more syllables than 7. So, he's working very tightly with how many syllables he can fit into a song right now.
No, I guess so. But sometimes I think Bob, it's what goes on in his head. Just like, if you said, what time is it, Bob? And he looked at his watch and saw it was 4:30, he'd probably say 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
He'd just do that just to fuck with you.
Do you want to hear my theory that this song is inspired by Kiss?
Better than Vietnam. Go for it. Go for it.
Well, it's just that there's a famous Kiss. One of their first famous songs was Black Diamond. Ooh, Black Diamond. Ding, 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 ding. Quite a good song, actually. But I am messing about. But it's just, I find it funny that in the Rolling Thunder documentary that we cover on the Patreon, he says the thing of the mask.
Oh yeah, he says
was inspired by Kiss,
Yeah.
which is total bullshit. But
Yeah.
now I'm like finding Kiss references everywhere.
Well, it's good to cover one of his, this is one of his lighter songs, isn't it? I mean, it's a lighter song that has a real sting in its tail.
Well, it's also a lighter song, but everyone dies. And I feel like, actually, when you look at the image of, like, the Greek is hanging there, he's hanged himself and probably dies, is choking to death as the volcanic ash comes and eviscerates them all. So
Yeah, no, I mean, the thing I quoted at the beginning is so full of mayhem. Like, the mysterious woman in the Panama hat says, I've got to talk to someone quick. That's mysterious. The Greek says, go away, and kick the chair to the floor. So he says, go away, and then hangs himself.
yeah.
And he hangs there from the chandelier. And the irony, I just love that. She says, help, there's danger near. Please open up the door. It's like someone's chasing her, trying to kill her. But then the volcano erupted, and they all died
anyway. Yeah.
That's the thing. To me, this is a real... I love the punchline of this is basically... Who cares?
Yeah.
It's like, do you remember? Yeah, who cares? Like, nobody cares. A bunch of people in a foreign land died. Who cares? I'm going to bring this up. I know I've told you this the other day, but I'll tell it to you again. It was when my, I was doing a self-tape. I was in a hotel room in Glasgow, and I didn't think it was possible because there were pictures on all the walls that were, like, nailed there. So I didn't want a picture in the background. We do self-tapes as actors now all the time now, and particularly if you happen to be working, you get a self-tape. So you got to set up your camera, and that exact camera, I was doing it with that iPhone, and you've got to do it yourself, and you've got to light it, and it was just all too much, and there was like 3 other characters in the scene, and I didn't know if I was going to have to call up a friend and have them read in for me.
Can you be on Zoom reading this?
And I called up my agent, and I said, look, I don't think I can do this, and I've got early calls. I got to be up like 5 in the morning. I'm tired, and I don't think I can do this. To which he memorably, in my mind, responded, Carrie, nobody cares. And that was a big learning experience for me, and I realized I had to learn how to do all these self-tapes or I wouldn't get the job. I want the job, so just do the job. But ultimately, it's sort of got a bigger reverberation, because that is what Dylan is saying. Nobody cares. Seems like every time you turn around, there's another hard luck story that you're going to hear, says Dylan. And there's really nothing anyone can say. And I never did plan to go anyway to Black Diamond Bay. Like, I wasn't going to use it as a tourist destination. It's very much, Americans again, using the world and the world's resources. I don't want to end this with a slamming with an anti.
No, and I just want to say, like, I have lots of American friends. My ex-girlfriend was American. I have no problem with a lot of Americans.
So.
Tune
in, America.
Please.
And Bob Dylan, let's face it, Bob Dylan is the greatest American alive at the moment.
Bob for president.
So you didn't see yourself as Robert Zimmerman?
For some reason I never did.
Even before you started performing?
No. Even then, some people get born to the wrong names,
What would be an example to you of a correct name?
For me?
For anything.
Well, let me see now. That podcast thing, Bob Dylan, approximately, it's a good name.
Oh? Why?
Well, it's right on target. So direct.
I see. Do you listen to it?
No, Ed. It's not my destiny.
Then how do you know about it?
A friend of mine might have mentioned it, might have said she subscribed to the damn thing.
Well, I understand podcast subscriptions are important, as are ratings and reviews. By speaking out like this,
No, hold up there, Ed. I'm not a spokesman for anything.
Crickets are chirping. The water is high. There's a soft cotton dress on the line hanging dry. Window wide open, African trees, bent over backwards from a hurricane breeze. Not a word of goodbye, not even a note. She gone with the man in the long black coat.
I will speak first on this.
Yes.
Because a few albums before I kind of trashed Daniel Lanois' production of Time Out of Mind. And I love his production of Oh Mercy.
Yeah.
And his production of this song in particular is
amazing.
amazing. In fact, on the way here, I was listening to it again, and my brother, who's obsessed with headphones, like he buys headphones every couple of years, and he upgrades. So he's got the finest headphones. And I was listening on my shitty, headphones, and I texted him, listen to this song, because he only likes to he doesn't listen to much Dylan anymore since he's gotten really into the headphones, because the production is usually not what you listen to a Bob Dylan thing. But I said, listen, I sent him, I know he knows Man in the Long Black Coat, but he's never listened to it on fabulous headphones. Anyway, I just think the production it's just
it's
great.
Brilliant. I mean, it sets the scene for this ominous song. I think it's an ominous is the way I would describe this song. You can hear it in the music, just the cricket on the keyboard. There's you can hear the crickets chirping. It's similarly to in a way Hurricane, where it's almost like directions in a screenplay. The start of Hurricane's like this, like crickets are chirping, the water is high, there's a soft cotton dress on the line hanging dry. It's like the stage directions in a way that you give for a director to, okay, this is the scene, now you go. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
it's brilliant. And the guitar and the harmonica. Oh, God,
it almost doesn't sound
so
like I've never heard Dylan play harmonica quite like that.
No,
I mean that's the thing about Dylan is he does like to play the harmonica differently if he can, and it's beautiful. I mean, some people might not appreciate it. Like some people just don't like harmonica, I think. I remember we once, this is going off the subject right at the top, but do you remember there was this, I sent you a video of this woman who's trying to listen to All Along the Watchtower, Dylan's version.
Yes, you did, I remember that.
And when the harmonica
she's
came
like
in,
a serious musician,
she's
like
a
classical
serious classical
musician,
and she's trying to be hip and open. And the minute Dylan's harmonica comes in, which is right at the top of the song, she gives this look of almost horror. Like I can't listen to this.
I think Dylan's harmonica mostly throughout his career is to unsettle you. I think that's what it certainly isn't All Along the Watchtower. I think he stuff like Queen Jane approximately, it's deliberately out of tune to kind of make you feel weird. And in Rainy Day Women and stuff like that, he can, like in this, he can play the harmonica brilliantly when he wants to. And I remember showing you that Blind Willie McTell, where he did it for Scorsese's thing, and he plays it amazingly live there. But I think he uses it as a tool to unsettle often. That's my personal
No,
opinion.
I agree. Unsettle, and occasionally I think he does. It's a gift to the audience.
Oh yeah,
saying
Everyone,
you're okay, you're in good hands.
Exactly. It's always the way. Oh, we know where we are now. We know. Okay, we're back to something we know. It's Bob Dylan playing a harmonica.
But with the thing we know about Bob Dylan is that he's unsettling. Like it's both at the same time.
I think the harmonica, because you've got the crickets chirping, you've got this amazing almost Delta blues kind of slow acoustic blues guitar, but the harmonica to me, it sounds like a crow or a raven or something. It's like a harbinger of death to me. It sounds like something, because I picture the scene, this was recorded in New Orleans, and clearly, to me anyway, this seems like a isolated house somewhere on the bayou.
It does. That's exactly what I see. Well, it was recorded in a house, wasn't it? It was recorded in a big room that Daniel Lanois set
And I
up.
think more than any album that he's ever released, it's really the environment they recorded it in influences this album. And to me, it just sounds like that. It sounds like, New Orleans, somewhere hot and muggy. There's not really any wind, the occasional bit of wind I see. But then to me, this is all personal, that harmonica sounds like out of nowhere there's a raven or a crow, probably a crow, in a tree somewhere. like it's this. Oh, something bad's about to happen.
You would never know that the sessions were so fraught.
Yeah.
Because we covered that in our because Dylan does a whole chapter on Oh Mercy in the in our Chronicles Patreon ep.
We've got 3 of them over 4 hours of Chronicles.
4 hours. It's worth it. I mean, it was worth it going through
great.
it. It was worth it doing
what a
3 separate episodes about Chronicles.
Yeah, we could have done about 7 parts, couldn't we? Really?
I know. It's amazing. So that's for our Patreon followers only at the moment, if you're not a Patreon follower. But going back to The Man in the Long Black Coat, here's you read the first thing, so it's full of mystery. What do you make of Window Wide Open African Trees? It's the African trees.
Yeah. Yes. It's, I mean...
Because I've got a theory.
Because we know African trees bent over backwards in a hurricane breeze. I said that there's no wind, but then he says hurricane breeze. Yeah. But to me, I don't know why. There's something more ominous in my head about it being almost silent, but he doesn't say that. I picture you can see through the window, you can hear the wind through the window, and you can picture these trees swaying. But yeah, African trees, it's an interesting one,
to me, the African trees, it doesn't describe what are African trees, but it's kind of it's a mood thing of Africa that, and also maybe, like, we still don't know who the narrator is. Like, we never really know who the narrator is. But the narrator has been affected by something foreign. Like, we don't know who the man in the long black coat is either. Something, and to me, when you say African trees, it's black people live in Africa. It's a black. It's sort of saying black,
well, it's
like
also,
the man's coat.
Yeah. But yes, and it's also, New Orleans is known for jazz music and blues music and the influence of black people in that area. And also, I feel like this is something I'll get onto later on, but who is the man in the long black coat? There's so many things it could be to me, and all of them have not all of them, but one of them particularly has a sort of blues mythology thing to it. You talk of like the devil at the crossroads. It's almost like she goes off with a demon. It could be she's seduced by the devil. Because I always think, not a word of goodbye, not even a note. She gone with the man in the long black coat. Does she go willingly? Or was she taken? Or was she seduced there? It's to me. I used to think she was taken. It feels to me.
I used to think she was taken, but then doing the deep dive, this line jumped out at me. Somebody seen him hanging around at the old dance hall on the outskirts of town. He looked into her eyes when she stopped him to ask if he wanted to dance. He had a face like a mask. Yeah. In other words, she stopped him and asked him if he wanted to dance. Now, I don't know if, again, this is the narrator's fantasy, but I thought that changed the whole meaning of the song for me. I always thought she was seduced. Yeah. Oh, what happened to that poor girl who used to wear the cotton dress that's hanging on the line? Yeah. But, maybe there was more to it than that. But maybe his jealousy and his fantasies are taking over at this point.
Now, I have a theory about that whole, in the old dance hall on the outskirts of town. Right. I don't know if it's other people may have thought of this, but I'm a big true crime, I don't want to say fan, but I'm very interested in true crime. And immediately, the first time I listened to this, I thought, oh, this is Bible John. Now, do you know who Bible John is? No. Bible John is a famous, unknown serial killer in Scotland. I think it's either the late 70s or early 80s. And he basically would meet women in the famous Barrowland Ballroom, which is still a big music venue in Glasgow. Huh. And he's called Bible John because people who kind of met him, he would quote the Bible to his soon-to-be victims. So he's called Bible John. So from the Bible he quote, she went off with the man in the long black coat.
Good theory.
That always, I just always, so I just thought, okay, that's too much to be a coincidence. The dance hall on the outskirts of town, which the Barrowland Ballroom is, and then you've got somebody said from the Bible he quote. It's probably nothing, but I'm like, was it a little wink to that? It's like this serial killer luring women in.
Yep. I mean, I've got a theory that it's possibly a murder ballad, like those Appalachian.
I think it
murder
is.
ballads.
Yeah, to me it always has been.
So like right from the top, this is just a theory, but there's a soft cotton dress on the line hanging dry. Like he was so jealous of this man in the long black coat that the narrator actually murdered the girl, the woman.
Right. Okay. Yeah. There is talk.
And that he washed her dress, washed the blood off the dress.
Oh, that's good.
I mean,
yeah. No, I like that because there is a lot of. In fact, it seems to be that from what I've read of other people's interpretations, most people think it is the narrator is the lover of this girl who went off. You know, not a word of goodbye, not even a word.
Yeah.
No, she went off. It's never. I just have never bought that.
That's
to me.
very straightforward.
It's too
isn't it?
straightforward. It's far too straightforward for Bob.
And I think part of it might just be another take on his obsession with impermanence. Like people don't live or die; people just float.
Yeah.
You know, him and floating people. We covered Floater in our first bonus episode.
Yeah.
And which turns out to be a great song. You know, like there's much more to it.
Much more to it. Yeah.
And you know, there's also something about the floaty netherworld of where spirits can commune with us.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people believe in.
Can I tell you, so another Dylan website change. So the people don't live or die, people just float is changed to I went down to the river, but I just missed the boat.
Oh, come on!
Fuck's sake.
Oh, God.
He seems to change some of the best lines deliberate. That's why I think it's totally
terrible.
deliberate. It's like, I'm going to completely savage this thing that you all hold as, you know,
dear
and otherworldly in its
I think that's the
genius.
worst so far.
Yeah,
That is
I went
really-
down to the river, but I just missed the boat.
Oh, Bob.
Oh, Bobby. Bobby.
The answers are blowing in the wind.
Yeah.
But in this case, that was actually a segue because it's to it's a hurricane. There's a hurricane. But I was really interested in the lyric that you wrote, that you read, rather. He does this all the time. She gone.
She gone, yeah.
Not she's gone.
It's blues, yeah. It's,
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also, it's like there's no time to even say she's would ruin it. It wouldn't be quick enough. Yeah. It is blues, but she gone.
Yeah.
It also reminded me, like he does it on most of the time. I don't even notice she gone when he sings it. But it reminded me of because in our previous episode we talked about Joseph Conrad. In Heart of Darkness. I don't know if I had to read.
I haven't read it.
I had to read
should.
it in my 1 year of university. It's a tough read.
Yeah.
But an interesting read. Like he just said, read this. And he didn't give us any that was before the internet. You know, there were no Cole's notes that I think I could find. So I had to read the fucker. And it was hard.
Yeah.
But and talk about darkness. Talk about a deep dive. But anyway, at the end of it, Mr. Kurtz.
Is Heart of Darkness set in the Congo? Or
It's set in the Congo.
Yes.
And it was adapted into Apocalypse Now.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So it is basically traveling up the Congo River to find this guy who's gone berserk and is kind of hanging around with the natives, but he's also seems to be mad and he must be killed. And I don't know if it's the last line, but it is the climax of the book when they come to the narrator, the Martin Sheen character, and they say, "Mr. Kurtz, he dead. She gone.
She gone.
He dead.
He did."
So I don't know. You know, it's partially blues, but that was again. There's something about just that use of the English language.
Yeah.
He's dead is sort of
it's far
he's
too,
dead. He's dead. She's gone.
It hits. It's right on target. So direct.
Yeah.
If I may.
Yeah, exactly. No, just boom.
Yeah.
And he does that a lot in his lyrics. He just deliberately leaves out
Yeah.
bits of English and just goes for the whap.
This is. I just wanted, as I often do, talk about the music a little bit, just because the music is so. This is. We talk often about how Bob loves to juxtapose the music and the lyrics and the story, but there's none of that in this. It's bleak and it's ominous and it's dark and it's like a psychological thriller film almost. It's so. so clear. The music makes the setting so clear in your mind. But it's quite a slow count of 12/8, which now you can use time signatures however you want. But generally, as far as I'm aware, 12/8, you usually think of it as quite a up-tempo stuff. But it's a 12/8 count, usually 12/8, generally faster. So if you think about it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. It's how he's counting it out. He doesn't often use 12/8 as far as I'm aware, Bob. So it's an interesting, and it makes it swing. Usually you think of like a 4/4 beat. The second and the fourth beat make it swing. So you kind of get this thing. We don't get that here. There's no swing. There's no emphasis, which makes me anyway. I can only speak for myself, but we're stuck. We're trapped in this story. There's no respite until he does the middle eight, which he often doesn't have a middle eight in his song. So there are no mistakes in life. Some people say it's true. Sometimes you can see it that way. People don't live or die. People just float. And then you're back in. So he
gives you a little bit.
He gives you a little respite.
Gives you a bit of light.
Yeah, it's
you're trapped in this coffin.
Oh fuck! So he's finally taken us out of the plodding, ding, 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 and now we're allowed some respite for two lines. They pulls the rug out from underneath us. It's like, oh god, there is no hope. There is no hope. It's like a horror movie. It's like, for me, it's like almost this. I know it's a different state if we're talking about New Orleans, but it's that southern. It's like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's like that. I remember the first time I watched that film, and it's what to me is more haunting about that film is the first 20 minutes before they're captured. It's like you go through this rural hinterland where the people are isolated and are strange, and I feel that in this song, and it's a stranger that takes her away.
Actually, that just reminded me of, did you ever see, this was a film that you had to see back in the, I think, 80s. It was Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer.
No, is it about Henry Lee Lucas, though?
You know, I don't know who it's about.
Yeah, I think it's probably...
Again, it was before the internet. I just knew you had to go see this film.
Yeah.
So I went to see it. It was already in rep. You know, it had been released. Very low-budget film. And I went to see it by myself, I remember, on an afternoon in the 80s, and at the Electric Cinema in West London. And
is it still there, the Electric Cinema?
I think it is, actually.
Robin will know, probably.
Robin will know. I'll ask him later. Is he? Are you looking in there?
I'm looking at
it. Is it?
He's not giving anything away.
And it was terrifying because you were basically in the mind of this serial killer, and all I remember was this guy named Henry going around killing people. And that was basically all it was, really. There was no point to it.
No. There was
almost no end to it. I didn't leave, but I wish I had, because it was grim.
I say this song is almost like a horror film, but at least in horror films, generally you usually get some hope. Yeah, there's a hope that they're going to get out, or there's a hope that something's going to happen.
They get,
or at the end they do.
Yeah,
they get their Avengers, and it's like, you know, but there's none of that in this.
No. So what do you make? Now I've got a few things to say about beating on a dead horse. With a pulse and vibration and a rumbling force. This is great poetry, by the way. I just love this. With a pulse and vibration and a rumbling force.
And his delivery of it as well.
Yeah.
Pulse and vibration. The rumbling force.
Somebody's out there. And then the beating, the actual beating on a dead horse. Yeah. Just that you can hear the beat of beating on a dead horse. But so is the dead horse, what is the dead horse? I thought it might be a dead relationship, because actually that's what beating on a dead horse. It doesn't mean it's about relationships. It means, look,
we've tried everything.
It's dead. You know, don't beat a dead horse. You know, this thing that you want, this hope that you have, there is no hope. Stop. Somebody's out there, but I can hear it. The idea, I think this is one of the grossest and most disturbing images in a Dylan song. Somebody's out there beating on a dead horse. I can hear them. I can feel it with the pulse and the vibration and the rumbling force. I can feel it. Anyway, here's a fun fact, just to take you out of this this trap that Dylan has got us in.
Ensnared us in.
In 2018, I found this in my deep dive. In 2018, do you know PETA, People for the
Yeah,
Ethical
yeah.
Treatment of Animals? They campaigned for people to stop using the phrase beating on a dead horse
Fuck's sake.
in order to remove speciesism from daily conversation. As an alternative,
If you're watching the video, you'll see it.
cut to Dan.
Oh, God.
As an alternative, PETA proposed that the general public replace beating on a dead horse with
Go on.
feeding a fed horse.
Fuck's sake. Oh.
Feeding a fed horse. Because, that's nicer.
But it doesn't.
Another suggestion they made, instead of using the phrase bringing home the bacon, which is, centered on the killing of pigs, people substitute bringing home the bagels. So that's taken you out of
Yeah.
yeah.
Fucking Peter, man. Yeah.
So who is the man? Is he the Grim Reaper?
I think it's the devil.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the devil can take many forms. The devil can take many forms.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's you being seduced and taken away by a demon. Initially, you've sort of been hypnotized and you so-called willingly go, and then he shows his real face.
I certainly buy that. Here's one for Robin, our producer, who is a huge film man. Have you ever seen Night of the Hunter?
No, I haven't.
Have you heard of it?
Yes, I've heard of it.
Charles
yeah.
Lawton
Yeah.
directed this. His only directed film. It's the only film he directed, I think is what I meant to say. And Robert Mitchum stars.
Oh, I love
And
Robert Mitchum.
Robert
Yeah.
Mitchum is wonderful.
Yeah.
And the film, it popped into my head when I was researching this. There are a few. Robert Mitchum plays an ex-con who disguises himself as a preacher, and he goes to this small southern town. He's also got love and hate written on, tattooed on both his fists, and he passes himself off as a preacher. But he's clearly a really sexy guy, and he's a real evil guy. And I know what took me there is somebody said from the Bible he'd quote. And I wondered if that was a reference to Night of the Hunter, because the thing about Night of the Hunter, the reason it was a huge flop when it came out, and it's now regarded very often as one of the top 10 American films of all time. Because Charles Lawton, I don't know who the director of photography was, but it was known for its painting with light, in the same way Lanois paints with sound. And I think that's why I thought of it. And I see the man in the long black coat as Robert Mitchum. I just, in my head.
That's great. I'll have to
Yeah.
watch the film.
Yeah, it's a very interesting, it's not unlike a Bob Dylan song. It's very weird, although the guy is evil.
Yeah.
But you wonder how good is going to triumph. It's like a horror film.
Yeah.
He's trying to find out where this guy who he was his cellmate hid the money from some bank job. And so he goes and he pretends he's a good man. And I think Shelley Winters is the woman who he seduces. But she's got a couple of kids, and he's working on the kids as well.
Right. Okay.
Anyway, no, it's
Yeah.
it makes me want to see it again. I've only seen it once, and it was like it was a long time ago, and it's a difficult film. I think knowing the works of Bob Dylan will help you.
Yeah. Yeah. So this song has been played 286 times live, which to me is surprisingly few for one of his sort of more well-known of the modern times. However, the most of the live versions I've heard of it, they do have, as I was talking about, the song doesn't have a swing to it deliberately on the recording. Well, every live version I've heard has a real swing to it, and you can literally dance to it. And there's something kind of cool about that. But I think that's why he hasn't played it that much, because it doesn't quite work for this song. You can't have a pulsing.
Not the meaning of the song.
No,
it's not a dance.
It's
tune,
not a
which-
dance tune. It takes away the ominous mystery of the song that I love. Yeah. So when he plays it live, it kind of feels like a totally different song. There's obviously versions I probably haven't heard, but the ones I have. So yeah, I love this song.
I love it too. Here's something. This was a little. This was something I did not get off an internet site, which occasionally that provokes me to sort of say things. This is just something that popped into my head. There's smoke on the water. It's been there since June. Tree trunks uprooted beneath the high crescent moon. I thought, I don't know why, but it's a great.
It's beautiful.
2 lines.
Yeah.
But I thought, wait a second. He rhymes moon and June. Which is, something that, people hated him for when he did it, on the later. Is it shut the light, shut the shade, you don't have to be. Is it I'll Be Your Baby Tonight? It was, or maybe he does it on Nashville Skyline, but he does it.
Yeah.
He does it to say, fuck you, I can rhyme moon and
Moon
June.
if I want
But
to.
in this one, it was so subtly done. It's no longer a romantic song. It's, it's terrifying. There's smoke on the water. Also, just these 2 lines. There's smoke on the water. It's been there since June. So, there's been fog, presumably.
Yeah. It's what do they call it? I think in literary criticism, it's called pathetic fallacy, where the surroundings and the weather and things like that sort of match with what's happening in the thing. So it is the whole thing. As I say, it's like this ominous. You're waiting for something to happen, and then she's taken.
Yeah,
and the fog's been there because summer's a coming.
Yeah, and I also wondered why a crescent moon. I dissected these 2 lines and just looked up crescent moon, which means growth, transformation, release, new beginnings. That's what the interweb told me. So, I do love that about
She looked at her horoscope. A new man will come into your life.
Yes.
He will be wearing a
tall, dark stranger
will come into your life. This signals new beginnings for you.
Right.
Go with him.
Yes, go with him. And then she gone. That was Bob Dylan Approximately with Kerry Shale
And Daniel Crespin. Produced by Robin Guise.
and recorded at Lipsync Post, Soho, London.
For longer bonus episodes, join our Patreon feed.
And if you have a Bobsessive friend, please spread the word.
It ain't quite the end.
We'll just bid farewell till we meet again.